want to go over a couple options such as inserting word art, inserting images, and working with a page border. What I'm going to have, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this little simple invitation. I'm going to kind of add a little more splash to it. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to take the title at the very top, the heading, and make it into word art. So one of the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to highlight birthday party, and I'm going to come over and click on the insert tab. On the insert tab, you'll find that you have a variety of options that you can insert into your document. What we need to do here is come all the way over to the text section, and you'll find there's a option that will say word art. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the drop down list here. These are a variety of different styles that you can choose. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose to start off with this one that's in the middle called style 14. Because I have my text selected, it automatically highlighted and placed the text inside this dialog box. I can go in and change the font size of the font style of the text. So if I don't want to use impact, I can come in and change it to, let's say, for example, Arial. I can also go in and change the font size. Sometimes when you add a word art, the font itself is too large because of the phrase that you're working with to fit on the page, so you might have to reduce the size. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. I'm going to click OK. Notice automatically it placed in birthday party. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to resize this because it's not fitting in the size I want. So I'm just going to come to these resizing handles. I'm going to drag it over here to the right. By redragging, notice how I'm resizing this object. It's not really like text, it's actually an object that you're actually controlling. So all I did was I come to these resizing handles and I'm able to control that. So maybe you like the style, but maybe you want to go and experiment with it. Well, if you have word art selected, you have now gone to the Format tab for word art tools. You can make some changes if you need to. For example, maybe you want to have it have a different style. So in this case, it's just a simple style that's arced. I'm going to click on the More button here. So if maybe you didn't like the style, maybe you wanted the one with the green with the drop shadow, or maybe you wanted Word Art Style 16. You can actually make that change by coming up here and clicking on that information. And it's again in the Word Art Style section. We can also go in, if you wanted to, you can experiment by adding extra effects to your text. So if you didn't like the way the drop shadow is set up, you can change it so it's going to a different location. Notice how now I have it going. It doesn't make sense having it that way, so I'm going to go back in and tell it to use one of the options up here at the very top for that. You can also go in and tell it to have some, different type of 3D effect where you can have it so it goes in and makes it actually looks pretty cool when you have it as a 3D. So like for example here it's going back and having a vanishing point, but sometimes that might not work the way you want. So I'm going to come back and just choose this option up here under parallel. I'm like, okay, I can see what I'm going for here. So again, once you insert the word art, you can go back and do some modification. A lot of people can go back in and maybe don't like the purple color. They can go in and change it if they needed to. You can come up here and use the theme colors. You can come in and just choose a different color if you want to. You can come down to the gradient option and choose different style of gradients. So it gives it a different effect. You can also come up here on the word art styles to change the shape. So if you don't like the shape the way it is, I can come in. You got to be careful. Some of the shapes you choose makes it really hard to read. If it makes it hard to read, you don't want to include it in your document. Now this one's not too bad, but it's just hard to read what it's saying. So I might have to change the color. So let me try it in blue. That's not too bad, but you might have to increase the spacing some. So I want to increase the spacing between this. I want to choose very loose. I don't like that. If you don't like it, just undo it. And I'm finding that I'm not sure about this style, so I'll go back. I'm going to change it. and maybe change the color to something different. And then that's just a simple word art. Now what we're going to do here next is I'm going to add a page border to the whole page. This is a nice way to draw a theme together, and to do so we're going to go to the page layout tab, and there's a button called page borders. All you're going to do is click on this button, and what's really nice about this is you can put just a simple, right now I have a single border going around the whole page. You don't have to. Down at the very bottom we have different variety of art pieces that you can actually add to your page border. It can be a nice little style if you wanted to. So there's a whole list of different types of clip art, or you can just have a different design. If I chose this design, let's go ahead and see what it looks like. I'm going to click OK. Notice how the design goes around. So it just adds a little, just a little bit different design to your document. It helps bring things together. So instead of having a simple border, you can actually go in and add a little background to it, or pattern to it. You can also go in and change the color to it so it fits to your color scheme. So let me go back here to Word Art, and I'm going to change its color to blue because I like blue. And see what's happening is that your color is now starting to fit together because you have a page border that fits with the color that you're working with your title. So we were able to get to the page border by going to the page layout and clicking on page borders, and you can go to the art option to add different types of art. Another feature we can insert in is images. What we can do here is we can go to Insert tab, and we can insert a picture that we've scanned in or taken with our digital camera. We can also insert clip art. So I'm going to insert clip art here. The dialog box will appear. I'm going to type in a topic that I'm looking for. I'm going to type in party and click on go. Now it's going to tell me to look on Microsoft Online. I'm just going to say yes. The user will ask you the first time you do so. And it's going to come up with some different options that you can use for your clip art. Anything that has a little globe in the bottom corner means that it's online. It has to download it from Microsoft Online. You can scroll through, find different types of clip art you like. I'm going to choose this little birthday cake here. Now it brings the birthday cake in, but the problem is it forced my text down to the bottom right hand, or to the second page. I want to bring it up, but what's going to happen is I'm going to have the text, I want the text to wrap around the graphic. And to do so, you got to change its properties. And what will happen is once you turn this wrap on for the graphic, it makes it easier to place the graphic within the document. So you can move the graphic anywhere you want, but you have to turn on this text wrap option. So with the graphic selected, and now I'm on my Format tab for Picture Tools, there's an option called Text Wrapping. I'm going to click on Text Wrapping. I'm going to click on Square. This will allow me to have the text to wrap around the graphic itself. I'm going to resize the graphic just to make it a little bit larger. And I'm also going to just delete some of this empty space that was forced in. What happens is the text itself can be placed to the left or the right side of the graphic because the text is going to wrap around it. All I did was I clicked on the graphic, I went to the Picture Tools Format tab, and changed the text wrapping to square. Now if I move this up here, this graphic up to the bottom or top right here, you can see the text wraps around it. Now it does throw off, so I'm going to just bring this back down. And again, very simple. We inserted clip art and we turn on what we call the text wrap option. When you turn on the text wrap option, you're going to have better control on laying the graphics out on your document.